Hello and welcome to Morgan's Miles. Well, this week we're going to have a look at the Rover P6 again. Now, excuse me if I sound a little bit deep of voice and a little bit bunged up in the nose. It's that time of year in the UK and yeah, I'm suffering a little bit. So yeah, we'll see what we can get done today. But yeah, before the paracetamol needs to be topped up, shall we say. Anyway, so in the last video I did on the P6, spoke about it wasn't running particularly well, and so this week I'm going to have a fiddle around and see if I can improve that anything. I've got a new air filter to go on it, and I've got a new set of plugs. I'm going to have a quick look round at the state of the dizzy cap, the leads, and also I'm going to have a look at the carbs to see if there's enough damper fluid in the dampers, because or if there's too much damper fluid in there, because that can also have the same effect from what I've read. I'm not an expert on SUs. I'm just kind of 2 or 3 pages ahead in the book, if you get what I mean. Anyway, so the I have no idea because I haven't had a chance to go and fiddle with it at all. It is chuffing freezing here today, so it's going to be fun. So what else have I got to do? I was going to do an oil change, but to be honest, the thought of rolling around on the floor feeling like this really doesn't fill me full of warm, fuzzy thoughts. So I think we'll put that off to another time. From the paperwork that's with the car, it last had an oil change and filter change some point in 2019, and that was I don't think it's done many miles since then. You know, so probably less than a couple of 100 miles. But obviously, oil breaks down over time, so I don't really want to run it on that oil or that filter once it's actually back on the road. So that's where we're at with that. Yeah, let's go and go outside. As you can possibly see from the windscreen, it is cold. That is actually ice on the windscreen. Joys of being a classic car enthusiast in the wintertime. Anyway, so the first thing we're going to do is this air filter. Now, from the looks of things, it looks fairly simple. There are 2 little clippy doodahs on the top here that come off. Oh, that's a good noise. There. Right. Okay. Let's have a look inside. I think that needs a detail photo. The new one's back in. It literally is just a pop-in job. It's so simple. Well done, Rover Group. That's a really nice design. I really like that. So just get it clipped back together again, which these really satisfying clips. Like those. Let's see if I can get that to line back up again. That's in, and then that goes on there like that, and then that goes on there like. I do like a good clip, don't you? Anyway, so next thing. Bloody hell, it's cold. Right. Dampers in the Pistons now. It's a very satisfying noise. Don't you think? Hear that? But I think they could do with a little bit more oil in those. We're certainly in that one. Have a look at this one. Oh, I hope that's being picked up by the microphone. That's such a great noise. But no, again, that's not my own limited experience of SU carbs. That probably needs a little bit more damper fluid in that. Now, the damper fluid, all it is it's a special light oil. I think originally it was a 20 grade motor oil, not 20W50, but a 20 grade. These days you can buy SU damper oil on eBay and Amazon and all the rest of it. Guess what I don't have? Yeah, you guessed it. So yeah, I think that's going to have to wait till another day. So let's have a quick shifty at this distributor cap. Again, 2 clips that hold it in place. Let's lift this up and have a look inside. Okay. Well, looks pretty good in there to me. Doesn't look like an awful lot of wear. Doesn't look like it's actually being used much. The only thing that's a little bit strange is that central electrode, where it's got a lump in the middle rather than a smooth bit. I'm used to imp ones that have got a smooth bit in the middle, so whether that's right or not is a bit unclear at this stage, but it doesn't look dreadful. So I think that can stay on there. Next, plugs. I need some tools. So these look fairly simple. In fact, I can get to all 4 of these. So let's start with this one here. Pull the lead off. Now actually the plugs on these are shrouded in the head, so it's a bit strange, but never mind. Let's put, I think I might need, I'm going to get tangled up with the cables there. Back in my moat. Sometimes you need an extra extension in life, and this is one of those days. So let's, okay, let's have a look. That is utterly filthy. That is really, really sooty. Now, doesn't look wet, so it says to me that's not oil. But that does look like it's been running remarkably rich. Oh joy. Right, okay, so let's go and put the new plugs in. And rather than you watch me scrabble around doing that, I think I shall just whack them in, and then I'll give you a close-up of these, because maybe they'll tell us a story as to what's going on. Oh my god, these are the plugs as they came out, in the order that they came out. So that one there is number 1, that one there is number 2, that one there is 3, and this one is number 4. Now 1 to 3 are black as black can be, but number 4, let's see if I can get that into the cat. Now, can you see? Let's see if I can get that to focus. There we go. Right, now, can you see that? That isn't quite as black as the others, and there is a degree of brown on the end of it. If I compare that to number 1, which is just, let's get you back in focus. There we go. Black, 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 with a bit more helping of black. So definitely number 4 has been running differently to the rest of them. That's what that tells me. Now, whether that's carb related or leads related, or worst case scenario, a sticky valve, which, you know, it could be. I haven't had that on any of the imps, but I know other people have that sort of thing on other classic cars. So let's hope it isn't that. Observation. The plugs that are coming out are BP6 ESs. Now, they are the same as the old Champion N9Ys from memory, just an equivalent part number thereof. The ones that I have been sent by Wins are BP7 ESs. Does that make them one louder? Is that correct? I'm certainly not putting those plugs back in because they are awful. I'll put them in. see what it does. They know more about Rovers than I do. And so the last one, going back in. Now you've got to do plugs up tight, but you don't want to do them over tight because you don't want to strip any of the threads. All 4 of those are back on. Now, how old is that coil? It's a Lucas Sport coil. Now, I have a bit of a thing about Lucas Sport coils at the moment, in that they used to be the coil to fit to anything, but I've had a few of them fail recently on the imps. When I say a few, I mean 3. Now they were all bought around the same time and they all look very similar to this one, and I wonder if it's the same sort of age. Now I've been told that variously by various individuals that the reason they fail in the imps is because on the imp they're actually fitted laying down, and that isn't good for a coil, but I tend to disagree with that statement because refer mini, whereas on this car it seems to be fitted, assuming this is exactly where it was originally fitted, on a bracket facing upwards. And I'm looking at these cables. They are, what make are they? No, a make I can't even pronounce. In view of the fact that one of those plugs has definitely not been firing right, it does lead me to suspect that there is something not right in this area. I think I will probably change the leads in due course as well, but it's whether I change the coil. I do just happen to have sat on the bench one of these, which I fit to the imps now on the recommendation of a couple of the imp specialists. These do seem to be a lot more, a lot better built and a lot more reliable. So I will have to look up to see if it's the same, exactly the same type. If it is, I have a feeling you've got a date with a new coil car. Let's see if she'll fire up and if she'll run on 4 cylinders. Because last time I ran her, she was running on 3 and a bit, maybe? Let's see. Clean gloves, that's unusual. Just for the purpose of clarity, this is stone cold and I have not started this for a week. I wonder if it's actually going to start. Let's find out. Full choke. Come on, old girl. Well, it's running. There's an occasional miss. It's better. Still not great. What have we learned from today? Well, that it's cold out here, so I'm going to go back indoors. So what have we learned today? Well, we've learnt that plugs were revolting. We've also learnt that they were fitted with BPR6 ESs, whereas I've been supplied with BP7s. Is that a problem? Don't know. I'm going to go and do some research. The damper pistons in the SUs don't seem to have an awful lot of resistance when I put the rods back in. and I haven't got any of that oil, so I'm going to have to order some. It's not the sort of thing that Halfords is going to have, because Halfords is Halfords. And there's not a huge amount else locally to me that's going to be open on a Sunday, which is what it is today. So yeah, that's a little bit frustrating. And then there's the leads. Now I'm going to order up some good quality leads for it, because I think they look a bit old, and it is damp because it's cold and it's all the rest of it. I mean, she fired up quite happily and she sounds quite happy, but there is an occasional miss, and there's an occasional, it sounds a little bit thrummy, like it's on 3, which it could be the carbs, it could be all sorts of things. So I think now that it's got new plugs in it, I can now, once I've got my timing light back, yeah, then I might be able to get it timed up. Then there's the carbs themselves. Now I'm in 2 minds about attacking the carbs myself. I've got a bit of history here. With an old friend of mine had a Sunbeam Stiletto, and I took the carbs off. They were leaking like Strombergs normally do. We took them apart on his kitchen table. I cleaned them, put them back together again, stuck them back on, and they never worked again. So I've got a bit of a reticence to get involved in case I make a complete klutz of it, because at the moment it's running, but just could be running better. So it's whether I get somebody to do the last bit, which is sorting out the carbs, and I'll do the rest of it. It's probably the best use of my time and money. There's still the brakes to look at, but as I said in the intro video to the car, when the guy delivered it, he said that they actually improved as he drove. So I haven't driven it since literally running it around an industrial estate up the road when I agreed to buy it. So I'm kind of in 2 minds as to whether that's going to be right or wrong. So I think probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to get to the end of the month, get it so it runs and drives, and I'll take it for a run around the block. And if at the end of that I need a change of underwear, then it's going to get the brakes looked at by a classic garage. And in fact, Steve Denton, who also has a channel on here, is offered to take a look at it, but he is so stacked out with work at the moment, that's going to be some weeks away. So we'll see how that one pans out. But if I can do it myself, I'd prefer to, but if not, I'll probably give Steve a call. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen today, and if you have, please click on the like and subscribe buttons beneath, because it costs you nothing, but it makes a big deal of difference to the channel and what we can do in the future. And I'll see you in another episode of Morgan's Miles sometime soon. Be seeing you.